Welcome back to the Last Down podcast. This is episode 22. I'm your boy Lopez.
And I'm your boy Anguiano.
We're filming from Zoom again because, unfortunately, if you can tell by my voice, I am sick. I got sick and I don't want to get my boy Anguiano sick. I don't want to get his family sick. And so it's not COVID, but still, getting sick sucks. That's why I'm wearing a Browns jersey because they suck and I suck right now. But yeah, today we're going to discuss a lot about week 5. Week 5 was really good. And yeah, what do you want to start off with?
We'll just go in order of all the games because we usually do that. But for sure, when we go over certain teams and all these injuries, you know, we'll really dive into those. But before we go off to that, first things first, the Bears finally got their first win. I mean, Justin Fields just looked very good. These last 2 weeks, he's looked very good. 4 passing TDs again. Moore was just sensational. 8 catches, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Washington Commander secondary sucks. Like, Emmanuel Forbes cannot tackle, and St. Juice was their best corner, and even then, he couldn't contain more. I really do believe that the Commanders are actually a bomb 10 team for sure. Because if you let the Bears beat you like this, like you're not that good. But then again, Howe was okay in the loss. 37 for 51, 388, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. But that first half was horrendous. He did not perform in the first half, but the second half when it was pretty much already throwaway, that's when he started stat piling.
I always say is the Commanders, if they had a good defense, they'd be a better team because Sam Howell performs at the highest level. And, he has three good weapons. He has Dotson, he has Samuel, he has McLaurin, and even Brian Robinson. But overall, the Chicago Bears really, proved all of us wrong. They're able to be a cohesive unit. And yeah, Fields, Moore, they went off. And if you had them in your fantasy team, man, you were happy. You were a happy man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Moore had like what 49 points.
Yep.
So I mean, he personally won me one league for sure. But we'll go on to the Sunday morning game before all the 10 a.m. Pacific time games, and that was the Jags and the Bills. And if I'm being honest, I'm very surprised the Jags won. The way they looked the past few weeks before week 5, I was starting to think, oh my gosh, like they're really not gonna make the playoffs at this point. But then, Lawrence started looking way better, really started connecting as well. Had 7 catches, 122 yards. And Kirk also had a good day as well. Had like 8 catches as well. I mean, but I think the difference maker was ETN, though. 26 carries, 136 rushing yards, 2 rushing TDs. And I'll say the Jags just completely bounced back. And Josh Allen as well, though, he still did fine. 359 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and Diggs and Gabe Davis both have over 100 receiving yards and a touchdown. But before I pass it off to you, the Bills defense is concerning because they just lost Matt Milano for the season, and I think he's pretty much their best defensive player. So I think at this point we're clearly seeing the Bills. They're still gonna be pretty good, but I don't think that they're more than just a simple playoff contender at this point.
Um, yeah, honestly, Jacksonville surprised me. I didn't think they were going to win, but again, like you said, Etienne went off. Something that I really want to touch upon is that Christian Kirk continues to be a solid option at the receiving core. And if I'm being honest, Lawrence is fine. Lawrence is fine. If the defense is, getting progressing to do better, they'll be okay. And again, the London crowd went crazy, and whenever they're in London, it seems to be like the Jaguars figure it out. So the Bills just got to figure out their defense, with the loss of Milano, but I know they're going to get Von Miller back, so we'll see about that.
Yeah, Von Miller will for sure be helpful, but like I said though, if they really want to compete with the Niners, if they really want to compete with the Eagles, if they want to compete even with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are still pretty close to them. They need they couldn't afford that. They could not afford him, and they could not afford White. I mean, those are two big blows on the defense. But on to the 10 a.m. Pacific time games. I'm gonna start off with the less appealing ones, as in the Panthers and Lions, because Lions are dominating. At this point, it's clear that they're the NFC North favorites. Laporta, 2 touchdowns on 3 catches. And, Reynolds and Amon-Ra St. Brown's absence turned in another good performance. 4 catches, 76 yards, 1 TD. And even though the Panthers lost, Young still tossed 3 TDs. And Thielen, I'm starting to think Thielen is having a career resurgence. Had 11 catches, 107 yards, 1 TD. So would you agree with me about Thielen? And what's your overall takeaway from the game?
You're gonna have to go back to an old episode, but I said Thielen was not a bad option for the Panthers and for Young, but you discredited me. So we're gonna go back to that, and you're gonna see when I said that Thielen is still a viable option at 33 years old. Because yeah, he's cooking. He's cooking. He's a top 10 man, top 15 wide receiver right now. And they just I don't the Panthers, they just gotta figure things out in the offseason because right now it's a lost season. Um Detroit, what can I say, man? What can I say about Detroit? As a Packers fan, it hurts me. It hurts me to say it, but they're legit and they're gonna win this division. Laporte is going off, Goff is going off. I mean, thank God Jameson Williams didn't go off because if not, it would have been a disaster for the Panthers. But I think they're gonna run away with the division. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, I still feel like it was a disaster for the Panthers defense that they still allowed 42 points. But on to the Giants and the Dolphins. Really, I just want in terms of the Dolphins offense, I feel like not too much stood out to me. It was kind of what I expected. But Hill, though, I do gotta say he went off. Like almost 200 receiving yards, 8 catches, 1 TD. At this point, I'm really just curious. Like, are the Giants really the worst team in the NFL? Daniel Jones got hurt as well, and they just look very bad.
They're not the worst team in the NFL right now. They're not. It's the Panthers. It's the Panthers. So they still got Barkley that's going to come back sooner than later. That he might help carry the offense for a little bit, but overall, the team that's the worst is the Panthers. Um, the one thing I want to touch upon the Dolphins is they lose Devon Achan for 4 weeks minimum 4 weeks. It's a knee injury, but they're still evaluating him. We'll see what it is, but I feel bad, man. I feel bad. He definitely was doing really good.
I think he's top three in the league in rushing yards, and he missed 1 game, and he only has like 40 attempts. I do believe that he was already instantly establishing himself as one of the best pure runners of the game instantly. I mean, the way Devon A. Chain just dominates, and I know I had to say sorry because I didn't believe in him at all. I didn't
Did
believe
it?
in him at all. I
Did it?
really thought he was just gonna be whatever because he was small. He was small. I knew he was fast, but I was like, he's small. Like I don't know. I didn't think he was gonna be as good as he is because right now he looks like one of the best clear runners of the game.
100%, man. And I'm glad I have him in Dynasty because who knows? A couple years from now, he might be the next big guy.
I do see when I stop when I watch him run the football, I just feel like damn, like that's an elite running back. He's gonna be an elite runner of the football.
100%.
I mean I may be jumping the gun, but I can see Devon Chan for sure having a 2,000 yard rushing season. Just the way
Hey,
I see the way he runs the football.
that's interesting. That's interesting. That's a bold take.
Not this year because obviously this year he's gonna miss time, but
No,
in
no,
the
I
future
know.
he has a full
Yeah,
year.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah. But on to the Texans and the Falcons. This game was very interesting because Desmond Ritter finally uses his weapons. Like finally Desmond Ritter, you finally realized that Kyle Pitts and Drake London are good. Pitts 7 catches, 87 yards. London 6 catches, 78 yards. And even then, John Smith still had 6 catches, 67 yards. Like, where was this the first 4 weeks? I hate the fact that I was preaching drop Pitts and drop London because if he starts like feeding him like this, like all these takes that I've been having on them are gonna shut. I'm gonna have to be shut up. And then Strauss still did fine though. I mean, 20 for 35, 249, and still has 0 picks to start his career, and that's already the most of all time in terms of attempts. And he still doesn't have a pick. He already has the most of all time.
Yep.
Overall, this keep say what you're gonna say. Actually,
Oh
say
yeah,
so.
he passed Prescott. He passed Prescott.
Yeah, Mitt Scott, but no, yeah, Stroud's very good, but Ritter finally showed something. And if they build off this, like all of a sudden we're talking about Atlanta for
Yeah,
real.
for real, for real. Like I've also been on that train where like, okay, it's time to not consider Pitts anymore. But London, I still believe in London. I feel like he has a higher skill set than Pitts, a higher skill set than most wide receivers in the league. So once Ritter starts to get really accommodated with the passing game, he'll be solid. And just today they traded with the Rams and they got Van Jefferson, which in my opinion is still like I have doubts about it. I really don't
It's
think it was a
irrelevant.
good pick. I really don't think it was a good trade because Van Jefferson's not. I mean, he's not going to be. I would honestly have to say he's not going to be a big contributor in the offense, especially the way they started. There's no way Van Jefferson comes in and it's just like, oh, he's the savior. No, it's. I think it was just a desperation move.
I don't know what the fuck is wrong by getting Van Jefferson because I can say firsthand he's a bench wide receiver. Like he should be on your bench. Like he is not a clear wide receiver two. He's not a clear wide receiver three. So why did they do this? But still, at the end of the day, if they keep on using Pitts and London and even Johnu Smith, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
100%.
And then on to the Ravens, the Steelers. Shocker of the week, upset of the week. But at the same time, thank the Ravens wide receivers. It seemed like they were sponsored by Butterfingers this whole game. If that's what the candy is called, right? Butterfingers.
Yes, Butterfingers.
Yeah, it seems like they were sponsored by Butterfingers this whole game. They dropped like 10 passes, including 3 potential TDs. Bateman dropped a potential TD. Mark Andrews dropped a potential TD. And Nelson Aguilar, in typical Aguilar behavior, drops a TD.
It was three
And it,
touchdowns and 175 yards that they.
yeah. It was a lot. Zay
It was a lot.
Flowers dropped something, and then Zay Flowers fell on his. It was horrible. It was horrible. And then Lamar fumbles twice, and then throws a pick. So in a sense, it still was his fault, but at the same time, I feel like if none of those drops happened, probably none of these turnovers would have happened. But also, we got to shout out George Pickens. 6 for 130 and 1 TD. I mean, I think he's the wide receiver one for the Steelers in real life, even once Johnson comes back. But I will say he's more of a boomer bust for sure.
Yeah, I think the Steelers always play the Ravens pretty good, especially like last season, and it was just a big disappointment from the Ravens side. Like you said, 170, or we said like 175 yards and 3 touchdowns went to waste. It's a disappointment. Lamar takes a big dud this time around, fantasy and in real life, and it's just it can't happen. You can't it can't happen. And the thing I want to talk about the Steelers is that they scored the game winning touchdown on an audible that Matt Canada did not want. Matt Canada will have his reaction right here, but he was pissed that it was a touchdown for some reason. It was supposed to be a run, not a touchdown. Matt Canada, man, you need to get fired. It's your time is done.
Hey, and while we're on Matt Canada, I don't know if you saw, but like the Pittsburgh Penguins or whatever, they had their opening night, and they literally said we're screaming "Fire Matt Canada" or whatever, something
Fire
like that.
Canada, fire
Fire
Canada.
Canada, yeah. The Penguins fans literally were screaming "Fire Canada."
It's
That's
that
how
bad.
bad it's getting. I agree. I mean, why do we have an incompetent offensive coordinator coaching the Steelers? You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not think that the Steelers would be as bad on offense if he was gone, because his the way he runs the offense is so vanilla. Like, run all these short passes, deep
Conservative.
shot like once a game. Like, come
Conservative.
on, conservative Anthony Lynn type of behavior.
Yep.
But anything else you gotta say about that game?
No, that's it. I'm just disappointed in the Ravens, but hopefully they bounce back.
All right, now on to another game that just a lot of things to unpack. Titans, Colts, first things first. Anthony Richardson and his injury. very saddening, very tough
I cry, man. I
because
cry.
He's like to me, he's like the next Josh Allen. And I don't care how bold that may sound, but I really do see that. Strong arm, athletic as heck. And then not to mention Jonathan Taylor finally comes back. And he gets the contract extension. 3 years, 42 million. And it's a step forward. It's not a groundbreaking step, but it's a step forward for the running back market. Pretty much 14 million per year. He's pretty much right up there with the higher paid ones. It needed to happen. I feel like that was the right thing to do. But I will say it probably could have been a little more. And then, I actually want to ask before I continue, what do you think about the Taylor and Anthony Richardson stuff?
Well, Taylor, had a rusty game, but that's obviously, him trying to get used to the system again. As for Anthony Richardson, I'm sad. I cried myself to sleep because the man was killing it. The man balls out and then he gets injured. And it's a shoulder injury. So it's not something we could take lightly. And he's most likely gonna go on IR, so he's gonna miss 4 weeks. And now we're at a point where we're like, damn, the Colts were riding off a good momentum, riding up some good games, and now it's just gonna maybe fade out with Minshew.
Yeah, I will say Minshew still performed well. 11 for 14, 155. And then Downs also showed up, the rookie, 6 for 97. And yeah, I mean, Minshew is probably obviously he's not as good as Anthony Richardson. And they're facing the Jags in week 6, and they would have for sure needed Richardson for that one to really see how he can really square up with the Jags again. But yeah, I mean Gardner Minshew now is the guy for Jacksonville. I mean the guy for Indianapolis, and I do believe that Gardner Minshew is for sure a top 30 quarterback in real life still, but yeah, no, he's not Anthony Richardson. Like he doesn't have that upside, and I expect the Jags to really just continue to build from week 5. And before we
100%.
pass it on to the next game, before I pass it on to the next game, I will also want to mention that D Hop finally, looked like D Hop, 8 for 140 despite the loss. Him and Tannehill were connecting very good, so he may be in for a good season still.
Yep.
All right, and now on to the Saints and the Patriots. I do think it's fair to ask: Are the Patriots the worst team in the NFL?
Yes.
After losing.
Yes.
Yes, yes, I agree. Actually, Patriots I do think are the worst team in the NFL as well because Mac Jones 12 for 22, 110 passing, 2 interceptions, and not to mention they lost Judon, they lost Gonzalez. Yeah, no, that defense is mid, offense is very bad. After week 1, I thought, you know what, maybe the Patriots are going to be very good this year, but then they just fell off badly. And Carr does fine, 18 for 26, 2 TDs, and then Saints defense also gets a TD as well. Like let's put this into perspective. The Pats have allowed essentially 21 points on offense to other teams in the last 2 weeks, and their offense has only scored 3. So defenses have scored 21 against the Pats, and the Pats have just scored 3 in the last 2 games.
It's bad. It's bad. The Patriots are, I mean, I brain farted when you asked me what if the Panther or the Giants were the worst team. But even though the Panthers have 0 wins, I just think the Patriots are worse. The Patriots are worse. They put no effort. Like you said, they're giving up so many damn points. It's just horrendous. And at this point, they got to tank for someone. Is it Caleb Williams? Is it Drake May? I don't know. I think Drake May. But the Patriots are the worst team in the league. Bill Belichick, I'm hearing the rumblings. I'm hearing rumblings that they could move on, but I doubt it. Kraft might not do that. They might give him one shot with a a new quarterback, but after that, might be it. But what I gotta say, another thing about the Saints, Kamara broke the franchise touchdown record. The He got 72 touchdowns, I think, something around those lines. So the Saints are still solid. They're the middle of the pack team. They got 3 wins. Maybe this is a sign of a run for their car and the Saints.
Maybe, but yeah, I mean, I think that if the Patriots and Panthers played right now, the Panthers would win. I actually can see them winning, not by a lot, but I can for sure see the Panthers beating the Patriots right now.
100%.
I actually trust Bryce Young right now more than Mac Jones.
Yeah, the guy gets benched halfway through the game. Like, how many times already? Three?
Two, but
Two.
that's still crazy. I mean, I think at this point his seat is the hottest, and he's likely pretty much gonna get cut from starting. And Zappy, he's not gonna be that good either. So at the end of the day, yeah, I think the Patriots are 32nd. This almost feels like, I know this is NBA, but this almost feels like Wemby going to the Spurs. Just a very good franchise, and now a very good franchise history is gonna likely get something like Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams, to me, is gonna be an elite quarterback in the NFL. I see a lot of Pat Mahomes. I see a lot of Pat Mahomes and Caleb Williams. Just the way he can create out of structure, just the way he makes some throws that pretty much I've never really seen any other quarterbacks do. And we're both USC fans, and I feel like you have to agree to an extent. Like you see some Mahomes in that.
Oh, 100%. And I even see more athleticism than Patrick Mahomes because Caleb Williams can run a bit more. He has a bit more of the speed, a boost. And, any team would love to have those Caleb Williams sweepstakes. You get a mixture of Patrick Mahomes, you get a mixture of Aaron Rodgers, you get a mixture of, let's see, like Robert Griffin Jr., Robert Griffin the third. There's a lot of players that I see in Caleb Williams, and any player, any team would want Caleb Williams. And who knows? This is going to be one of the first times that I see if Bill Belichick gets the first pick, seeing him with the mobile quarterback, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, who knows though? I mean, Bill Belichick is a very interesting individual. Has made some very interesting picks in the past, so we'll see. And it's still far away, so we'll see for real.
He's going to go
And
with
now on,
he's going to go with the Division 2 quarterback.
man, if I were a Patriots fan, I would be in hell if I saw that. But on to the 1 p.m. Pacific time games. We'll just start off with my team against the Eagles. Hurts balled out against us, 375 total yards, 303 passing, and 72 rushing. Stafford was okay still, though. I mean, 21 for 37. But I was excited that Cup came back, though, and he balled still, looking like Cup. 8 for 118. And Puka Nakua, as I kind of expected, still had a commanding uh, impact to the game. 7 catches, 71 yards, 1 TD. I am glad in the sense that we have found our wide receiver two behind Cup because gives me relief. It makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel like, you know what, we can be competitive with against good teams because we lost to the Eagles by 9. We lost to the Niners by 7. At that point, we're not obviously very good contenders, but we're fighting. We're fighting.
Puka got that love. He's still getting that love because yeah, he got 7 receptions, 78 yards, a touchdown. Really good on Puka. Really good on Cup. Again, this is a team that needs a defense. If it had a defense behind it, maybe the Rams would be a little bit more competitive. Maybe the Rams would be on a run, on a tear. But the Eagles are just too much. And again, I hate to say it, they're 5-0. The Eagles are 5-0. But again, it's a narrow win. It's a again, it's like are I don't know, man. I still have some doubts about the Eagles, but I could be wrong, and people probably will shun me for it. But I just feel like we got to see when they play against the Cowboys. We got to see when they play against the Niners. We got to see when they play bigger teams how they do,
The
how they
Chiefs,
fare.
they're playing the
The
Chiefs.
Chiefs, yeah. Once they play these 3 teams, we'll see how the Eagles are. But one thing I wanted to ask you about was the brotherly, what is it? The brotherly shove, right? Or what? The
The
brotherly shove, right?
brotherly shove. Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you
The where
think
they push.
Do you think it should be banned? Because there's some people saying it should be banned. It's causing injuries. It's bad for the game.
If honestly, I will say I'm a bit naive on the injuries part, but if it does cause injuries at a rate that's alarming, I would say yes for that context. But like, if it's bad for the game, like just grow up. It's 1 yard or 2 yards.
Yeah, exactly. It's really not that bad as people think. But I read a report where it's been causing injuries, and there was some injuries. I
If
think
that's really true, and if it's like really a alarm or at a rate where it's like players don't really love it either, then don't don't yeah ban it.
it's not gonna get bad, to be honest. It's big in college football, so I doubt it. I doubt it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, but on to the second very honestly, I feel like almost every game was very good in this slot. The another game that was good is that the Bengals and the Cardinals. The Bengals. Joe Burrow seems to be back. Joe Burrow is back. 36 for 46, 317, three TDs. Chase is for sure back. I mean, he was never gone, but he was real when he said he's always open. 15 catches, 192 yards, and three TDs. And he had more fantasy points than DJ Moore. That's how impactful Chase was. And then Dobbs, this was the first game where he didn't look that good. And then, 15 for 32, two interceptions. And then James Conner, IR. Yeah, I think at this point the Cardinals are going to stay as a bottom five team for sure. Because James Conner being hurt, just I feel like he's going to affect that offense a lot for sure in real life.
Who did the Bengals play?
The Cardinals.
And you're saying Joe Burrow's back? Let's not over
I,
exaggerate here. Let's not over exaggerate here. They played the Cardinals. They didn't play the Ravens. They didn't play the Bills. They didn't play the Eagles. They're playing the Cardinals. So when you tell me they're bad, Jamar Chase is back, put them against a good team with a good pass rush, and we'll see what that's about. Because the Rams, shit, they were destroying Burrow the whole game, and you're telling me now that they play the Cardinals, they're back. Oh, oh my God, what a surprise! Any team should be dominating the Cardinals except the Cowboys because they suck. But any team should be dominating the Cardinals. So I don't want to discredit them, but it's good. It's a good sight. It's a good sight. It's a really good sight to see Burrow Chase doing crazy. But you can't really say they're fully back when they're playing against a team that's not as good. Come on now. I can't discredit though. Jamar Chase carried me in fantasy. He rescued me. So
having Jamar Chase and DJ Moore and not having to face them was a luxury. But on to the game that I would say had a lot of drama, leading up to it. And I was hoping it was Aaron Rodgers starting this game, but it was Zach Wilson. So we had, the Jets and the Broncos, and the Jets got the win for Hackett, as they should, because, Sean Payton was out of pocket. Brees Hall was on his old self, 22 for 177, one TD. Sensational, inspiring. It's clear that he still has that juice. Very clear. Russell Wilson performs fine despite the loss. 20 for 31 and 196 for two TDs. But this game makes me just bet the question, Kirk Cousins, are you a New York Jet? Russell Wilson, are you gonna get traded? Like, what's going on here? You get what I'm saying? Because 2-3 and 1-4, what's going on? Tell me what do you think? How you feel?
Kirk Cousins, you are a New York Jet. Now I'm just playing. The Broncos, they gotta figure something out. They gotta get a new defensive coordinator. They gotta get a new defense because by God, what's going on there? Sean Payton, is he at fault? Did he put too much overconfidence on this team? The overhypeness again? Russell Wilson is doing good. You can't tell me that he's not doing good. He's doing good, but the defense is just atrocious. The Jets won. Good game for Wilson. Good game for everyone. Good morale victory because of the diss that they had for Hackett, the diss that Sean Payton gave. So good game for the Jets, a good win, definitely deserved it. But I just think that at this point we're gonna discuss it in the next game. But I think Kirk Cousins, you are a New York Jet. Russell Wilson, I don't know if he's gonna get traded. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think anyone wants to trade for him. He's too expensive.
Yeah, yeah. I just felt like asking the question, but I agree with you. I don't expect Wilson to get traded either because at the same time, no one's going to take on that contract.
No.
But, Chiefs, Vikings, you already said it. Kirk Cousins being a New York Jet, you agree. I agree. We've been on this for like 2 weeks now. So we were on it early. But, it's also because, the Vikings are 1-4 and the biggest lost. The biggest loss that I think we've experienced so far this year, and that's Justin Jefferson getting placed on IR after getting hurt in this game. Kelsey also got hurt, and I thought he was gonna be on IR too, or I thought he was at least gonna not play the rest of this game, but he returned and still got 10 catches, 67 yards, and 1 TD. Personally, I feel like given that he had 10 catches and 67 yards, though, it's clear it's clear he was playing hurt. But yeah, the Vikings are 1-4, and they're facing the Bears, who are also 1-4. It's gonna be such a very good game because it's like, what's gonna happen here? Like it's a mid off at this point, especially with Jefferson gone. Yeah, and then Cousins, he still did okay. He still did good. 29 for 47, 284, and 2 TDs. It's a lot to unpack here. What's your thoughts about Jefferson's situation and him being on IR and the Vikings in general? Because I feel like the Vikings especially is something that we can't just lightly touch on.
This Viking season might be over. Simple as that. It might be over next week because Justin Jefferson on the IR is the biggest problem that they could have. The biggest nightmare that they could have in Minnesota, having their best player, their franchise player, be out for 4 weeks. You're doomed. You're done. you know, it's like there's not much you can do. And it sucks. He's a great player, and he was really balling now in the. I mean, actually, no, he was pretty slow in the first half, and I thought he was going to pick it up, but he lost, and that was the deciding factor. If Justin Jefferson was there on those last plays they had, they might have been different. We might have been looking at a Vikings win. They were down 7, but I think the time is now for the Vikings to really act, and the time is now to consider a trade because you're not going to get anything in return if you just let this year roll out. Kirk Cousins, it's a Kirk Cousins contract year. You might as well get a pick. You might as well get something compensation for this because the season's going to be lost. If you lose to the Bears, it's a low point. It's a low point. You know that the team is screwed. In the nicest terms, I want to say they're screwed because if you lose to the Bears, what else can you do? You're bottom of the division. It's a
Yeah,
disgrace. It's a disgrace.
if I see the Vikings 1-5 after week 6, I really am gonna firmly stand on Kirk Cousins getting traded because that, like, think about it. They need a future, and Kirk Cousins is not the future anymore. Like, it's not just on him this year; it's on that team. Besides Jefferson, Jefferson is like the only bright spot in that team. Jefferson and actually Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, that whole receiving trio is the bright spot. Everything else, O line trash, running back trash, defense trash. You get what I'm saying? They need to rebuild quickly for Jefferson. They need to get their quarterback quickly for Jefferson. Drake May should be a Minnesota Viking. Even Caleb Williams, but that would be in the wildest dreams. If Caleb Williams had the chance to be a Minnesota Viking, I would down.
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. It'll
I feel
happen.
like Jefferson would stay for sure if Caleb Williams was his quarterback. I would fiend for it myself as an NFL fan because at that point, Jefferson, you're breaking records.
As a Packers
If
fan, I don't want that. As a Packers fan, I don't want that. Please, please.
you'd be in a nightmare if you saw Caleb Williams, huh? In the Vikings, in that purple and gold, you would be in a nightmare, huh?
Just skip to the next game, please. I don't want to think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, yeah,
I don't want to think
yeah.
about
I
it.
feel it. I feel it. I would feel the same if he was in the Cardinal Uni, but you know, this game, Lopez, it's two franchises we don't like. So I don't know how I feel about what I saw because I don't like either franchise a lot. But I will say, and I already made a video that the Niners are the number one team in the NFL. The way they just clapped the Cowboys, it's 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 elite. I don't even know how the fuck the Cowboys lose by 31. If I'm being honest, Kittle, six. I mean, not six. Three catches, three touchdowns, and then he had that fuck Dallas shirt. That bro, it's like down. Like you're really the Cowboys got bitched big time. Dak is ass. You know, 14 for 21, then three picks. I am convinced that Dak now is a bottom five quarterback in the NFL in real life. Bottom five starter. Because this year he hasn't really done much. And when he had to do something against the Cardinals, nothing. And when he had to do something against the Niners, he did bad. I think Mac Jones could have done better or about the same. That's how bad Dak did. Tell me, like, when has Dak ever truly impressed you?
Never. I hate the Cowboys. And Dak Prescott has not impressed me at all since his rookie year. His rookie year, sensational. Sensational. He had the record for the most completions without a pick. Sensational guy. I loved him. But ever since, nothing. He's a choke job. He's a choke job artist. You can't tell me there's no other better. There's like 30 other quarterbacks that are better than him. Because
There probably is. I really do think I would even go as far as saying put Trey Lance in and let's see what happens. Like I really am on that. Let's put Trey Lance in and see what happens. Let's see what happens. He's a dual threat. He has intangibles for sure. Put him in and see what happens.
this is why they got him. Because they're applying pressure. They need to apply pressure to Dak Prescott. If he wants to keep his job, he needs to perform. He needs to fucking do shit because at this point, Dak Prescott is gonna be gone next year. I don't know how many
I
years he
agree,
got.
100%.
I don't know how
I don't
many
know. I
years he
don't know
got
his
left.
contract either. I don't know his contract off the top of my head, but I agree 100%. Dak,
But
I'm already convinced. I'm personally, in my mind, in my chest, in my heart, I'm already convinced he's not going to be a starter next year. I already saw enough. Dak
yeah,
is not him. Dak hasn't been that guy really, ever. Besides that rookie year, yeah, the rookie year he looked good. He fooled us, Lopez. He fooled us. He fooled the NFL.
he didn't fool me. He didn't fool me.
Well, he fooled the NFL, at
So
least for the most part.
all I gotta say is Cowboy fans gotta admit reality, stop coping, and realize that Dak Prescott is not their guy. They need to get a new quarterback because it's over. They're not gonna make it any further. The 49ers are their dads. 3 straight games. It's over.
Embarrassing. I would be embarrassed if I were a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Niners are just clearly the best team at this point. And I hate to see it because you already know I'm a Rams fan. But onto your team, the Packers and the Raiders. It seems like Love was copying Dak, 3 interceptions, but he didn't have a touchdown though. So it was really a horrible day for Jordan Love all around. To the Raiders, especially like out of all teams, the Raiders. But Jacoby Myers, 7 for 75, 1 touchdown. And your boy Tay, 4 catches, 45 yards. He didn't even have to do much. And they still won you. Do you miss Devontae Adams?
Let's be clear here. Do you know who was on Devontae Adams?
No.
Jair Alexander. So let's be real here. Devontae Adams did nothing. Well, of course, you got the one of the best corners in the game on him. No shit, that's gonna happen. If anything, that exposes Adams. but I'm pissed. I hate it. Going into this game, all that was being hyped up was the damn Carlson brothers going against each other. Like, not even Adams. Not even Adams. It was the
That was
Carlson
crazy.
brothers. It was the Carson brothers, not even the Adams storyline. And that's because Aaron Rodgers isn't on here. If Aaron Rodgers was on the Packers, it'd be all over the news. Like, oh, they're playing against each other for the first time. But what I'm trying to say is I'm pissed. I'm sad. Jordan Love needs to get it together. We can't lose to bottom five teams like this. You know, it hurts. It hurts me. But Jordan Love, I still believe in him. I still believe in him. There's better tape than this, man. But I hope we can succeed. I hope we can succeed. But we lost David Bakhtiari for the year. It's time to end it and end it. I can't deal with him every year having like season ending injuries. I can't have it anymore. We lost Quay Walker this Sunday. He got hurt. Darnell Savage got hurt. It's painful. Aaron Jones wasn't playing. I hate it, man. I hate it. I hate
Man,
it.
I can't wait to go to Lambeau and see my Rams beat your Packers because at this point I have confidence. And I didn't have confidence when I bought the tickets, but I have confidence now. And you're not gonna be there. You're not gonna be there. So I mean, I'm gonna be able to watch your team lose in person
I'll
while
be
you watch
laughing.
TV.
I'll be laughing. I'll
But you'll
either
be laughing.
I'll either be laughing a pain or I'll be laughing a joy. That's all you gotta know. That's all you gotta know. I'll be
You'll be
either
laughing of pain or laughing of joy. I get that though. I get that because I'll probably be laughing in pain or in joy if I saw my team lose in person. Yeah, I'll be laughing in pain.
I'll be like
But if I saw my team win in person, yeah, I'll be laughing in joy. So I get it a lot.
you know how I'd be like on our oldest Chapman when he let that home run. Yeah, that face just smiling through the pain. I'd be smiling through the pain. But
Yeah.
the Packers are still gonna win. You're not gonna see the Rams win against the Packers in your lifetime. I'm calling it now.
Nah, 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 nah,
We've
nah.
won like four straight
That's
against y'all.
that's crazy. That's a crazy statement.
Four
That's a crazy,
straight.
in my lifetime. That's a crazy statement.
We've won
I
four
actually
straight.
saw them win. I saw us win in 2018 against your Packers when that
What?
guy dropped the fumble. 2018, I think it was. We
That
won
was
by
against
like
the
four.
Chargers.
No, no, we won you guys.
I'll
I
fact
saw
check you.
that.
I'll fact check you right
That
here.
check.
I'll
I
fact
think it was
check you.
2018.
I could
I
have
think
sworn it
his
was
last
against
name
the
was
Chargers.
Montgomery, and he had a fumble.
That was
And
against
it
the
was
Chargers.
check.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see after this episode. But you're not gonna see the Rams beat us. We're gonna make a bet. We're gonna make a bet. I promise to
We
you.
are. We are.
But the Rams still lost. We still have the same record.
Yeah, yeah, but at least our team has a functional offense.
Defense sucks.
Whatever. Anyway, though, as a few of you guys for sure remember, we had a Q&A and we only had one question. So, Nathan, our lucky friend, was the only one that actually asked us a question. It was pretty much for our bold takes and waiver wire pickups. At that time, he said week 5, but that already happened. So week 6, I'll just apply to week 6. But first things first, bold takes for the rest of the season. I'll let you start off if you have any. If anything, I'll start off if you don't have anything right now.
I kind of didn't plan this through. But bold takes on the top of my head. Uh um I got nothing. I got nothing. I can't think.
Okay, I got it. I guess
Actually,
my
I got one. I got one.
what?
Derrick Henry will not be a top 10 running back by the end of the season.
That's not that bold, but I can see it. Let me start off with my bold takes. My first bold take is that the Bengals are going to win the AFC North. Another bold take is that I think well, since you said the rest of the season, I do think that the Lions are gonna get to the NFC Championship. And I know I know how you feel about that, but
I don't
I do think
know.
I do think they're capable of being the Eagles if they face them. And I think the Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South. That's pretty much. I think. Let me make sure.
Brr, brr. Oh,
Oh,
it's
oh, and I think
freezing cold take, freezing cold take.
whatever. And I think I guess since it might not be bold anymore, but Kirk Cousins to the Jets is another one that I've been standing on. And another bold take is that I think the Vikings end up with the top 3 pick.
Possible. I think one bold take I have is that they shut down Justin Jefferson for the season.
I can agree with that. I don't know if that's even a bold take because I really can envision it in a sense. And, it might not be ethical in the sense like, yeah, he's probably gonna be healthy for sure by week 10. But I mean we'll see what happens. But yes, Buccaneers win this out. Lions get to NFC championship game. And Bengals win the North. And wait. Oh yeah, and the Vikings get a top 3 pick. Those are my 4 bold takes. Oh, and then Kirk Cousins to the Jets. So I actually have 5. 5. Kirk Cousins to the Jets.
Okay, solid, solid.
Do you have any more, or you want to just wrap this up?
Uh, I have okay. I'll try to make 4 at the top of my head. So number 1, obviously the Kirk Cousins trade. Number 2, Justin Jefferson gets shut down for the season. Number 3, I would say is that Jimmy G gets benched. Number 4, I would say that the Falcons get in the wild card. And number 5 is that the Packers end up drafting a quarterback in the next draft.
Okay, now that was bold. That is bold. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys draft a quarterback, I'll be like that.
We drafted a quarterback last season.
It was Clifford, right?
Yeah, we got Clifford. So if it doesn't work out, we could get another quarterback.
All right. I think this pretty much wraps up the episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And, we'll keep this ball rolling. And it was a lot to unpack. And I hope that all these players get healthy, though.
100%. 100%. Because the injury bug is taking bodies left and right.
For sure. Grass fields. I'm tired of turf.
Fuck turf, grass fields all day. And thank you guys for watching episode 22, The Last Down Podcast. Follow, like, subscribe.